Your music submissions suck. Let's fix that.
It's the creator's hustle.
Hello everybody and welcome to The Creator's Hustle, where we deal with the business of the entertainment industry. I am Richard Chemaly, and today we are looking at 5 steps of submitting your music, and we'll probably do another video with 5 bonus tips. But first, of course, thanks to our sponsors below, and let's go. You're probably asking, is radio play even worth it anymore? Is it even relevant? And I have 2 responses to that. First, yes. In a quick test, ask yourself whether you'll be bragging to your friends about getting your track playlisted or scoring an interview or even being in the top 10 of your local station. But more importantly, submissions are no longer just to radio stations. When you're submitting, you should be looking at blogs, playlists, and if you really want to go for it, the gaming industry, because it's massive. Remember how you used to fire up Need for Speed and it introduced you to Lil Jon and the East Side Boys with that rum-pum-pum? Anyway, here are 5 basic steps you should be taking when you submit your music. Number 1, get an ISRC. It stands for International Standard Recording Code and functions as an ID number for your tracks. So that's 1 ISRC per track. Fortunately, though the number consists of various parts like the registrant country, registrant year, and designation, the same number is applicable throughout almost every jurisdiction. So the same number can be used internationally. And you'll need this number to exploit or commercialize the copyright on your music. In other words, make money. There are a couple of agencies and organizations which assist with getting an ISRC, and it's relatively cheap. So do a bit of research and find your favorite provider and go for it. Of course, as a sponsor of this video, I really like Burning Groove, but that's just me. Anyway, number 2, build a proper EPK. An electronic press kit is vital for artists to showcase their offering. It's a simple but well-curated document that gives the sellable information about the artist. This information that you put in should include things like the general story behind the artist, links to previous interviews, links to social profiles, and videos accompanied by images. Truth be told, there's little limit to what can go into an EPK. In a sentence, it's a document that represents you and answers the basic questions people might have of you. Some include a tech writer, while others do profiles of all the members. However you put it together, as long as it looks good and gives the right information, you're waxed. Maybe we'll do a video on how to put together a sweet EPK next season. If you want that, you know what to do. Number 3, draft that mail. The best template generally has 3 parts split into 3 paragraphs. Who you are, what this is, and what you want. Music compilers don't have a lot of time to spend on each submission. They get quite a few every day. So the goal is to do as much of their work as possible for them, and then to entice them to open your EPK and learn more about you while listening to your track. Short, impactful, and direct does the job. Long submissions can be a turn-off, especially if the information is readily available in the EPK anyway. So open with a quick intro about yourself, mentioning things that may be relatable, like where you're from, what you do. Then after you do that, go on to introduce your track. That's the second paragraph. Is it upbeat? Is it chilled? Perhaps you'd want to mention what it's influenced by. And after that, and this is where most artists get it wrong or simply just forget or don't even know to do it, tell them what you want. Do you want it playlisted? Do you want the song on a particular show? Do you want an interview? Whatever it is, mention it. If it makes the compiler's job easier, then great. Throw in a single graphic, mention your ISRC, include the links to your socials, attach the track in the EPK, and you're well on your way. Number 4, to avoid being annoying, tier your submissions. Carpet bombing a database of email addresses is never effective, especially if you're going to be using the CC and not the BCC form. So you'll want to split your submissions up. Usually you do this into 3 tiers. Tier 1 will be your priority cases. These are the platforms that you really want to get onto, so each one should be individualized and personalized and drafted particularly for that platform. You could probably be doing between 5 to 20 of these, depending on how much time you have, because they will take time, but will give you a higher hit rate. So do a bit of research on each platform, find out who the right people to speak to on those platforms are, and tell them how your track will work for them specifically. Tier 2 is also kind of personalized, but without the intensive research. You can throw in the compiler's name and maybe do an intro paragraph that's particular for them, but as for the rest of it, you can use a standard template. Maybe 20 to 50 of these should be easy to clear if your database is up to date. And then finally, there's Tier 3, the Hail Mary tier. Throw all the emails you have into the BCC field, type in "Dear Compiler," and let rip. You might get little response, but it's only taken you 5 minutes to reach hundreds of platforms, so if 1 or 2 bite, it's more than you would have had for very little work anyway. And that's most importantly how you should be sending out your submission. Number 5, plan properly. Artists often get it wrong and think that release date is the date you send out your music. If your music isn't out by release date and ready to roll, how do you expect platforms to playlist and interview you and do all the things that you require of them in a matter of hours? Give yourself time to think properly about the message you want to send out, who you want to send it to, and what you want that message to do. Do the platform research, build your lists, and create an excellent submission that properly represents you. Good submissions take about a month to plan and maybe another month to execute, so give yourself enough time to think about how you're going to go about it. The more exposure you get on your release date, the better your release will go on that date. So, hey, how do you go about that? How can it be that you expect me to release my music before a release date? Well, we've got that covered with 4 other tips in our next video. Just the tips.
Just the tips.
That's it for Creators Hustle this week. If you liked the video and found it useful, I'm not really bothered to ask you to subscribe, ring bells, or tell YouTube that it's somehow great. Just share it with your friends who might find it useful too. Let us know what else we should deal with in the comments, and